Welcome to day 3 of the Plan Intensive Challenge. Today is where 2024 is actually going to come together. Okay, you're going to start piecing your year and everything that you have been working on in terms of assessing your business model, putting down the offers that you want to work on, those that you want to retire, new revenue streams that you want to consider, all of that, you're going to bring them together. So, one thing that you can do is to write down what you want your business to look like at the end of 2024. Okay, what are 3 big things that must have happened during the year? All right, so this is one exercise that you can consider. Now, another one that you can consider, and like I said, some things work for some people and some don't. Okay, this is where you have a theme or a main focus of the year. All right, so what is the one thing that you want to focus on? This really depends on what your assessment of 2023 was. So if you feel like you have been overworking, you've been burning out, perhaps something like, being in harmony could be your theme or your main focus. Maybe you want to, take care of yourself better and know how to balance out your work, your business model with your health, for instance. Okay, for others, maybe you are really interested in trying out a completely new revenue stream. Perhaps that could be self-publishing. Then your theme or your main focus could be a little bit different. So it always does not have to mean something like scale or something like system. So typically when I share this exercise, a lot of the words or themes that come up has to do around scaling. All right. So it does not always have to be something that is like that. It could also be something as simple as, being in harmony or to rejuvenate, for instance. Now, the next thing you want to do is to figure out what is the support that you will seek. Okay, you're trying to figure out where your knowledge gap is. So you have a rough idea of the things that you want to do for the year, the offers that you'll continue to create, things that you'll retire, so on and so forth. You want to figure out, okay, what kind of support that you need in order for me to be able to achieve this theme or focus for the year, or in order for me to be able to accomplish these 3 things that I want 2024 to look like at the end of the year. All right. Very often there are knowledge gaps or support that we would need. So if there is a course or a program that you have been considering, write that down. If there is some kind of mentorship that you've been considering, write that down as well. Okay. Now this is where you're going to start piecing your year. Okay. So this is one way that you can look at it. Okay. If you're very used to working in terms of like a 3-year or a 5-year vision, how does that vision break down into like a 12-month goal? And then from that 12-month goal, bring it down into a Q1 goal, a quarter 1 goal. And then how does that relate to projects that you're doing? So this is one way of thinking about it. What you're doing basically is you're ensuring that anything that you work on every single quarter is going to inch you closer and closer and closer to the 3-year or 5-year vision that you have for yourself. So if you have your 1, 3, 5-year plan, what can you do in the next year to inch you closer? Now, what you want to do is take all of those projects that you came up with, okay? Things that you're going to do, affiliate offers, sales, anything, all right? And then start just plonking them down into the different months. You have this in your workbook, so you can go and do it there, all right? Just start dropping it into months. So if let's say you're planning a relaunch of a particular offer that you have and you do it every single quarter or every single 6 months, make sure it goes up somewhere in March, somewhere in July, for instance. Put it down there. Okay, if let's say you're going to be doing a sale of something that you have every single June or August, make sure that goes in there. Okay, if there's any new project or offer that you want to launch, all right, have a rough timeline of when you're going to launch it. Put it down there as well, because if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to get done. Okay, so split them up into all the different months. Okay, going as far into the year as you can, and then zoom in to just the first quarter and look at the 1 to 3 things or the projects that you'll focus on for the quarter. Okay, you should already have some of these things in that calendar for Jan to March. Okay, look at it. Is this feasible? Now, when I say feasible, it means that, is this doable with everything else that you have going on in your life? All right. So some people, they are planning a big move, for instance, and then they plan a launch around the same time. Okay. So you only know how disastrous it can be. And even if you plan to pull it off, it is, you will have the worst experience ever. You're not going to enjoy your new home, wherever you're moving to. It's just going to make the entire moving process even more miserable than it already is. All right. So this is what I mean by see if it's feasible with everything that you have going on for that first quarter. Do you need to tone things down? Do you need to, move perhaps some projects into another month where you have a little bit more time that you can handle a little bit more and free up, claw back some time in this first quarter, especially if you need it for something else? Once you have settled on what these projects are going to be, 2 things I want you to think about. One is timeline. Okay. Do you have any deadlines that you can attach to these projects? Put them down, because if you don't have a deadline, it's not going to get done. It's not on the calendar. It's not going to get done. Okay. Next thing you want to do is think about everything that you need, every single task that you need to do in order for you to achieve that goal. So, for instance, if you're going to create a challenge, then what are the things that you need? You need to create a challenge landing page. You need to create promotional graphics for your challenge. You need to create 5 promotional emails for that challenge. All right. So these are the tasks that you will need to help you, in that pursuit of getting that project done or that goal achieved. So this is what I want you to think about. So use the workbook that I've given you and go ahead and work on today's challenge. Like I mentioned before, if there are specific aspects that you're looking at, for instance, to launch, or whether it is to create an editorial planner or to scale your business, then consider the Create series or any of my books on Amazon as well. And I will see you in the very last video for Plan Intensive Challenge. And we're going to be specifically talking about messaging and content. All right. Since we have really nailed down the different projects that we're going to be working on for the year, we have them plunked down into months. We also have Q1 in our focus. We're going to be looking at how our messaging and content is going to support those projects. I'll see you in